going on, guys, and welcome back to day 15. Welcome to day 15. I'm excited, ready to hear all the things you learned from that Enneagram test and what you gained from it, right? So I'm hoping you were able to take the test, and then once you got those results, to sit down and compare, like what you said about yourself and then what the results were. I want to go back to the reason we're doing this, okay, from the first video from this phase on day 11. We need to know who we are. We need to be able to identify our personality, not just on an opinion. We're taking into consideration our opinions, others, and then this Enneagram test, this personality test, to try and figure out who are we as individuals. I'll share again why I feel this is important. For me, when I did this a long time ago, I want to say that a lot, so just hang on with me. When I did this at the beginning of this year, and I took a long, hard look at myself, I began to see areas of my personality, which is nothing wrong with who I am, but it's also a way for me to say, I can do better, and I can be better, and I need to change in some areas. It doesn't make me a terrible person. So I need you to understand, these things do not make you a terrible person. What you see as a weakness does not make you a terrible person. So if we have areas that could use a little bit of work, or prime example, here we don't feel we need to change. There's nothing wrong with who I am. I was born this way. God made me this way, etc., etc. Okay, that argument is pretty sound. But the issue is if how you are is affecting your life, your relationships, your decisions, how you make decisions, your response to things, that may be the reason you need to consider change. You need to consider change, in my opinion. 100%, yeah, I am good to go. There's always that, if you're like that, I don't know what to tell you, because there should always be room to improve, to do better, to be better, to strive for something. That's what we have to look at. What are we striving for? What do we want at the end of all of this? Is everyone's life going to go according to plan? No. But at 37, I'm looking back over my life and considering, on a good day, I've kind of lived half of my life by now. I want to be able to look back when I get to that end road, whenever that is, to say, I pushed myself to the point where I am happy and content. And I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I pushed myself to that point. Why am I saying all this? Because when I went through this and looked at who I was, I could 100% understand why I wasn't motivated, felt a sense of purpose or belonging, and just kind of went along with the motions of life. That has not brought me fulfillment. That has not brought me a sense of purpose. And so when I went through this time of understanding change and doing the test and focusing and looking and saying, what in the world is wrong with me? Or where am I falling short? I was able to see, like, man, I have work to do. And this video is going to be a little longer because I really want to explain all of this. For those that know me, know without a doubt that I am an extreme extrovert, okay? I don't have a problem being around people. I love being around people. I don't have a problem talking or engaging in conversations. I thrive on that. What has happened, I'm a very blunt person. Very blunt, very matter of fact. And what that can do is that can cause people to distance themselves. Like, and I'm learning this, my opinion does not always need to be heard, nor wants to be heard. Sometimes people just want to be able to share their thought and not have anybody respond. And I have to learn that that's okay. Matter of fact, even if they don't want it, I don't need to share everything. My delivery needs to be different. It's okay to tell people, the truth or how you feel about something. But if you're just doing it in an unkind way, that's not going to be receptive. They're in fact probably not going to be receptive, and they're just going to be like, whatever, I'm not going to listen to that. So I'm going to read through real quickly highlights, and I will try to link this down below where I pulled this information from. So hopefully when you took your test, you got your results and they did kind of the same thing and highlighted like your strengths, your faults or improvements, etc. If not, I'm gonna read off some highlights, okay? So if you're type 1, Okay, if you got number 1 as like your highest, you're the perfectionist. The type 1 focuses on following the rules and doing things the right way. They are motivated by their desire to live the right way and to always avoid fault and blame. The strengths are ethical, dedicated, reliable. Some faults or improvements might be very critical. Basic fears to be bad or corrupt. Basic desire to be good or have integrity. Type 2, the helper. Type 2s are always there to lend a hand and act as a support system for family and friends. The strengths are caring, interpersonal, warm, giving. Their improvements are focuses so much on what others need that they don't acknowledge their own needs. Basic fear is being unworthy of being loved, but their desire is to be loved. So write these things down. If I name your number or mention your number, write down some of these highlights that stand out to you, okay? And like I said, I'll still link this. Type 3s are success-oriented and extremely driven. They are motivated by their constant need to be successful. They do everything they can to avoid failure. Let's see if you all can figure out which ones I am. Strengths are adaptable and able to succeed in almost any situation, productive. Improvements feel their worth lies in what they can do and accomplish rather than who they are. Basic fear is to be worthless or insignificant, to disappoint others. Basic desire to be valuable and accepted. Type 4, the individualist. They are motivated by the need to be as unique as possible. They never want to be ordinary. They are also very focused on feeling all of their emotions. Their strengths, creative, sensitive, unique, empathetic. Their improvements or desires to be seen and understood at all times tends to be jealous and moody. The fear to have no identity or personal significance and their desires to be meaningful based on their inner experience. Type 5, the investigator. Also known as scientists or professors, investigators love to learn. They are constantly striving to conserve energy and learn more about the world. Their strengths are knowledgeable, curious, insightful. Their improvements are struggles to connect with their emotions, very detached and tends to be loners. Basic fear to be useless, desire to be capable and competent. Type 6, the loyalist. Motivated by fear and the need for security, loyalists are the most common. They value friendship and loyalty, but they are also worst-case scenario thinkers. Strengths: committed, practical, witty, great in a crisis. Their faults can be anxious and sometimes struggles with self-doubt. Basic fear to be without security, but of course the desire is to have security. Type 7, the enthusiast. A positive, fun-loving type, enthusiasts are spontaneous and motivated by a need to be happy. They never want to be tied down and are always full of energy. Their strengths are adventurous, always planning something fun and love having new experience. But their faults, they struggle with recognizing limits and tend to overexert themselves. Basic fear is to be confined or in pain, and their desires to be happy and satisfied. Type 8, the challenger. Challengers are motivated by their need to always assert strength and control over everyone around them and to never look weak and vulnerable. They can be described as defenders or protectors. They are leaders. Strengths are commanding, direct, protective, and very take charge. Their faults, though, are confrontational, always need to be in control. Their fear to be harmed or controlled by others, but of course their desires to be in control and protect themselves and others. And the last one, number 9, the peacemaker. Peacemakers value harmony, comfort, and peace, obviously. Their strengths are pleasant, laid back, and accommodating, but their faults, they can explode with anger when keeping things in for too long, can be too complacent. Their fear to be disconnected, separated, and or lost. The desire to have peace and stability in their internal and external world. Anything sound familiar? Sound like you? Was it right? Did anybody figure out who I am? I'll tell you. My top 2 was number 1, the perfectionist, and number 8, the challenger. What that revealed to me, and this is what I want you to do, this is your task for the next 2 days, is I want you to look at descriptive. So you can just Google the Enneagram meetings, and you can find so many different websites on it. I want you to look at them, and I want you to pull words out from those personalities. Please don't just pull out the good things you like. Pull out some of the bad things you don't like, or some of the things that make you uncomfortable. Because there were a lot of things in those that made me uncomfortable, but I pulled them out anyways. Because that's going to reveal a couple of things to you. That's going to reveal who you are. So for me, I'll give you my top 3 words for each description of me. So for the perfectionist, I'm conscientious. I'm critical, and I'm control. Okay? Not all bad, but can be. And then for the challenger, assertive, decisive, and direct. And I think the one word they used for, I want to say it was the perfectionist. The challenger, also one of the words that sticks out to me for myself, is protector. And for number one, for the perfectionist, dedicated, reliable, but very critical. So I want you to take a look at those things. Take a good hard look and be honest again, and pick up those one words or pick up those phrases that mean something to you and write them down. All right, I want you to write them down in a journal, or hopefully you're keeping a journal, but write them down, put them somewhere, because this is who you are. This is who you are right now. Now, what of that do you want to change? What of those phrases or those words make you uncomfortable? Because that's what we got to work on. That's what we have to work on. Okay? I know this was a lot longer video than in the past, but it's for a purpose. And we've got to understand who we are so we can understand where we want to change. All right? I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you guys. And I can't wait to continue over the next 40-something days. I'm hoping you're gaining some information that can help you and get you ready for the new year. Have a wonderful day. So catch me if I fall.